Thank you so much for asking me to join you today.
Yeah, Paula is here. She owns Blessings by Nature, and I'm sure we'll get into that business a lot over the course of our interview. But can you start us off, Paula, with just a brief introduction of yourself, your company, where you're at right now, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So my name is Paula D'Amico, and I like to say I do a few things. I am a woman business owner. The name of my business is Blessings by Nature. It's a plant-based business where I introduce the power of plants and a spiritual end and a physical end to help people stay in a healthy mindset and a healthy body as well. So that is my business that I've been working on for over a decade now. And prior to my business, which I work nearly 40 hours, if not a week, but on top of that, I also have a career as well in broadcasting. So I work at Channel 7 as a television producer, as a news producer. So this is going to, I think, spark, Julie, some really good conversation, because I think a lot of you young folks out there that are watching and listening, you're like, how can I balance things? How can I balance my life? How can I balance doing the career I love or the career I need to have to pay the bills, yet I want to follow my passion and have a business too, because there is a way to do it. And if you watch business men and women across the country, you will see how that progression usually goes. So a lot of people start off with their business, they start off with their career, and then they find their business that they want to pivot to, because when you create your business, you got to think about it this way: you're creating something from your heart, something you are very passionate about, and something that you are going to do exceptionally well at, because you love it so much and you want to be successful, and you want others to feel that success and be a part of that success as well. But to get to that point, I think my life coach said it the best several years ago. She said, Paula, your career that you have, that 40-hour a week job, that helps to support the business that you are creating. Because as creating a business, you're going to start from the ground up. There's a lot that goes into creating a business, and if that's all you're going to be surviving on, that could be a little difficult, to pay the mortgage. And because remember, kids, you gotta pay the bills. You gotta pay the mortgage, got to pay the electricity, got to pay the gas, got to pay the water, got to pay the car insurance, the cars. I could go on forever. You've probably heard your parents talk about it. So you got to pay those bills. So how can you do that when you're starting a business? So this is when that juggling comes into play. And that doesn't happen with everyone. It happens with some people. I just happen to be one of those people. So for me, the beginning of that pivot to creating that business for myself, and I'm still maintaining my career because I do love my career too, it was back in 2006. It's actually 2005. My dad became very ill, and then in 2006, unfortunately, he passed away. My dad was a horticulturalist. So you can see right then and there where that Blessings by Nature business kind of comes into play. My dad had an amazing garden, and he had an amazing love for nature and creating beautiful gardens and displays, and the list goes on, for not just his own home but for others as well. And I saw the beauty in that and the healing in that. So as I started to heal myself from the loss of my dad, I just kind of like knee jerk reaction turned to just gardening, well beyond what I had normally been doing. And as I started embracing that gardening a lot more, I started creating things for others. And that, in conjunction with discovering some holistic practices, which was at that time very new to the Western New York area. And we're just a little step behind sometimes, in Buffalo. So as I started to learn more about holistic medicine and practices and things like that, and I learned about the power of plants and how that can help you as well, it really snowballed. It and I don't even know if snowball is a good word to use. It began to build momentum, maybe is a little bit better, because it started with a healing tool. Then it became more of an interest. And then it became gifts. And then friends were saying, you should start a business. You should start a business. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about starting a business. And you got to remember about a little over 10 years ago, Facebook, not, I don't know if Facebook was on it, but, a lot of the things that
That's
we
brand
currently
new.
those knee-jerk reaction tools that we use to help educate ourselves and help promote businesses, they weren't either they were not there or they weren't in full steam at that point. So I really was starting from square one. Everyone I knew already had their career, they were well set. I really didn't know anybody who started a business. So I started from scratch. And that's how I became introduced into the local business community, because here I started. And then I'm one to always keep not reinventing myself, but keep educating myself and keep pushing myself forward. And so I would reach out to other like-minded business women and tap into their knowledge, find out what they're doing, how do they create their business plan, who are their resources. It continues today. I didn't after a few minutes go, or even a few weeks or a few months or a few years say, well, I think I've got all the information I need. I'm good right now. I'm just going to keep moving along. I continue to reach out to my fellow business women because they are such a valuable resource. And for those of you out there who are learning more about being a business owner, those of you that are learning to be an entrepreneur, there is so many resources right now that you can reach out to. I would suggest, and it's just a suggestion, yes, online is great. You can learn a lot from online. Find yourself a mentor. Find yourself somebody that you can connect with, that has established a business, a well maintained, a well oiled machine business, and start to learn from them. I don't think I know of one entrepreneur that would not say, "You're interested? Let me share a little knowledge with you." So don't be scared about asking for a little help. Don't be scared to ask a little bit for some guidance and information, because people out there are more willing to give than you actually perceive them to be. They are engrossed in their business and their time is limited, but they will reach out to you. Man, that was a long answer to your question, right?
I can't even remember the question anymore, but we're going in a great direction. I love it. Where would people find these in Western Europe? Who did you find as a mentor? Who did you reach out to and where
Who
did
did
you
I
meet these
find as a
people?
mentor? It started literally when the first jump was, so the story goes, when I was looking into those holistic medicine practices, I connected with a woman by the name of Linda Elson. And Linda Elson is, well, she's a real estate agent, but she's also, I like to call her Western New York's Feng Shui queen. So, Feng Shui is the art of moving things around in your home placement to create better energy in your home, that positive energy. I'm sure you've all heard of that. So she's had her business for a very long time, and I met her at an event, and we got to talking, and I thought, well, this is pretty interesting. I like it. I consider myself a very spiritual person myself, and I said we started going in the direction of talking about plants and how plants play a pivotal role in an important role in a person's home and their well-being as well. And I thought, oh, now that's something I can understand. That's something that I can really connect to. So, like anybody out there that has found something that they are extremely interested in, I dove in. I started devouring all the information I could about the power of plants in your home, whether it's filtering the air, whether it's giving an energy boost in your home, how all these different things can help improve your life. And then I started practicing it on myself and thought, this is pretty amazing. This is incredible. Like you wouldn't think, right, that plants would do great things. They do, and we all know that, but for me, it was really it was like the curtain was lifted, the veil was lifted, and I thought this is amazing. And I was so excited about learning this that I just continued to move full steam ahead with my friend Linda's with her assistance as well, because Linda actually showed my items. I came up with a product line, and I reached out to her and I said, Linda, I've come up with an idea and I'd love for you to see it and get your opinion. And she said, sure. Just like I said, she said, sure, go ahead. Let's meet for coffee. Why don't you bring a couple of things and let me see it? So that's exactly what we did. We went for coffee and I showed her and she said, Paula, this is amazing stuff. This is great. Let me do the favor for you. I have a show coming up in a few weeks. Create some more of these and I will bring them with me to the show and I will put them on my table and I will speak to them for you and we'll give it a test run and see how it works. And that's exactly how it started. And she sold a few and it got sparked a lot of curiosity. And so then, that was like that was the testing moment, right? Is this going to fly or not? Because that's usually what you're if you're going to be somebody, like if your business is like say massage therapy or you're going into beauty or something along those lines, you know that those are already well established businesses. The key to making it your own business is that creativity. So the creativity of marketing, picking out the perfect name. And you'll know when that name pops up, because the name, you'll create a name and you'll be like, not so much. That's the one that speaks to me and it should speak to other people too. Get a second opinion. just because just because if you create something and you think it's great, it may speak to you and you may understand it, but you have to make sure that your audience, that your clients understand it as well. So from that, here we go, it's a long-winded answer again for you, Julie, but I'm always
Okay.
so packed with information I love to share. So after Linda was able to show my product for that first showing, then I thought, okay, well now it's game on. I got to get going here. I got to create my business cards. I got to create a sign. I have to figure out how my table is. I got to do labeling. You know that all of a sudden, if you're gonna make that promise to yourself, and it is a promise to yourself that you're gonna take what you just created and you're going to take it to the next level and keep building and building and building. And and that's what I've been doing all these years. So every once in a while, you got to switch things up a little bit. You got to freshen up your business card. You got to freshen up your packaging. You have to add on to your line of products or services. And it's always it's like a machine, and it's always in movement, and you always have to give it a little tune up and help push it forward so that it's working the best way that it can. You don't want to go backwards, you just want to keep going forwards. So Linda for me was my jumping off point. She helped spur my business a great deal. But I've worked with my sister very closely. My sister is a web designer and a graphics designer and digital graphics designer, and she has helped me tremendously in creating that packaging. But as time has gone on, I've tapped into other lady friends that I've started going to different shows, and as I was going to shows, I made it my business, part of my business, to actually network. And I've taught classes about this as well. As you can imagine, I like to talk, obviously, and and I teach public speaking as well. So that helps a lot. So if any of you have taken a public speaking class, excellent. If you have not, you need to do that because it helps to build your confidence, because you cannot sit silent, my friends, when you have a business. You cannot sit in your hole. You cannot sit in a little room in the corner and think that things are just going to happen. You have the power to make that happen. And to do that, you have to reach out to other people. And for me, I made it my point, my business, and I still do every show that I do. I look to my right and I look to my left. I see who my neighbors are. I introduce myself. I start there. Hey, what you got? What you doing? This is me. What do you do? I mean, that's not exactly the terminology, but it's get to know your neighbor. And then, if somebody comes up to my table, and so my line of products is, in case you're wondering, you're like, Paula, you never even said really what you sell. So I have a line of herbal sachets and bath teas, and I do numerous living arrangements and dried herbal arrangements. One of my biggest lines right now, it's exploded. I have it in stores across the Western New York area and out in New York City now as well. Is my elderberry syrup. So that's huge. It's considered to be an immune booster. So you can understand why that would be a big deal right now, right? I'm trying to get it in stores, some bigger stores as well. So it's all that, it's that wheel in motion, that machine that keeps going on. But when I'm at a show and I'm introducing myself to my neighbors and I get to know them, what ends up happening is you create this great chain of connection, right? So if I've got my sachets and somebody's coming, oh, they smell great, they're delicious. I'm gonna get some. Okay, that's great. And saying maybe the person next to me is doing candles, and they were like, it would be great if I could have this bath tea and put that in my bath, and I could have a great candle. That would be just it really makes me feel stressed down. Relieve me of my stress now, and excuse me, and I can say, well, listen, right next door to me is Julie Johnson. And Julie, Julie sells these amazing candles that have aromatherapy and they've got, lavender and things. So that would be a great complement to this sachet. Now, do you see what I did? I kind of very gingerly kind of pushed them over, kind of directed them over to my neighbor. And then maybe my neighbor makes a sale. So with that, next time somebody comes up to her booth and they buy a candle and they're looking for something for their bath or their pocket or their pillow, she may refer to me. This is what you want to do. You want to create those referrals, whether it is fellow business owners or whether it is customers. It's extremely important because then it shows not only is your product excellent, people love it, they see that, it creates interest, but it spurs growth and I guess that was where I was going to go. It spurs growth, and it can do so much more because you can use those tools, you can use those referrals on social media. And I know all of you know about social media, and you probably are all on Snapchat, and you're probably not on LinkedIn. But you should be. And I'm not sure if you're on Facebook, you probably have an account but never use it because I know how the kids are. I know how y'all are. But let me just tell you, with every one of those different levels of social media comes a different audience. So you need to learn your audience. Who are you creating your products for? Who are you trying to connect with? And some of your products may be a certain age bracket, and some may be a certain part of the country, or it just there's all sorts of demographics, right? So or different background, whatever. Each one of those social media platforms that you use, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, LinkedIn, you're going to find your audience. And what you'll need to do is advertise, is reach out, connect with your audience on those different platforms.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of work. Get yourself Hootsuite and you'll be golden.
What will that do for them? Hootsuite.
Hootsuite is a platform where you can basically take care of everything. So you can have all of your social media platforms on there, and you can schedule your posts on all those different platforms. So it's kind of like, at home when you turn on the TV and you hit the menu button and you can see all the channels and you're starting to scroll through. Well, it's kind of like that, except right across your screen, what you're going to see is you'll see your Facebook, you'll see your Instagram, you'll see your LinkedIn, you'll see your Snapchat. You can create a post, have it post to all, schedule at different times. It just helps to keep you organized, and it also helps you with time management because time management is huge when you're talking about your business or a business. For myself, it's very big because I'm still, I'm on my career. I'm still working my career, and then I have my business. So I literally have created a schedule for myself around my workday. There are certain things that I do in the morning on certain days, and then there are certain things I do in the evening on certain days. Weekends, Saturday is usually a really busy day for me. I do a lot of running around and taking care of a lot of like literally business. And then on Sunday, well, you know what they say, Sunday is a day of rest. So then Sunday I give myself the day off, because if you don't, you're going to run down, and then what good are you if you run down, right?
Yeah. And this is a lot of great advice for our students. It just keeps on coming. I love it. Thank you so much. So what are some challenges that you found when you started at first? You found some support to help you. You had your idea. It started getting off the ground. Where did you find you needed some some more help, or like specific help at all?
As I started, so the very first show that I did myself was at Villa Maria High School, and I had my table set up, and I thought, man, look at this! My table looks great. I have got lots of product. I'm gonna sell out because my stuff is so amazing, right? Well, it didn't quite end up that way. So it's easy for you to feel like, defeated, right? Deflated and defeated. But you can't let that happen. You can allow it for a moment, but then you can't let it bring you down. You have to pick yourself up and move yourself forward. So what you do is you kind of take notes, and it could either be physical notes, mental notes, or take pictures, however you want to remember. So you know maybe what you should do the next time around. And and with every event that I did, I would learn something new. And if I made a mistake, or if I thought maybe I should have done this instead of this, I guess I created such a wonderful network of business ladies that I know, that I could call on my different fellow business women who I knew that may have maybe their expertise, or maybe they do very well at, and ask them, well, how should I'm having a problem with, I can't market this. I'm not quite sure. I had a friend that I knew for years. We're still friends. It's not like it's past, I shouldn't say past tense. And he was a local public relations person, and we've known each other for literally for decades. So I would actually, he told me to lean on him, and that I could call on him whenever I want to. So periodically, literally, it's like every like quarter. So like every few months, we go out, not lately because of COVID, but we would go out for lunch, and we would meet and we would chat. And he literally would say, we'd catch up with each other. Hey, how you doing? How's the family? Blah, blah, blah. And then dive right in. Paul, what can I do for you? What questions do you have? He gave me some of the best advice I ever received, which was how to set my table up in a successful way, and and you take that. So it's not just at an event. So I can take that knowledge, and when I have products set up at a store, I know the best way to set up that product at a store. So to be multi-level, to make sure that instead of having closed containers, because really I rely on olfactory. I rely on your nose to go, man, that smells great. I want some of that. So I came up with a line. I came with a line saying free whiffs and sniffs. So I took the covers off, as per my friend's suggestion. I took the covers off my containers so people could actually smell my product. And then they would walk by and they'd catch a whiff, and they go, oh, that smells good. And I said, hey, how are you? How you doing today? Why don't you come on over? I have free whiffs and sniffs today. And they were like, what? And they giggle, and then they come in. So it is a very lighthearted, but clever, I might say, way to bring my customer in, to draw them in a little bit and experience what I have to offer, what services, what product I have, so that there gains interest. And then they ask questions. So here's something for you to remember. When you open up your business, remember what I said a little while ago when I said you can't sit in your hole, you can't sit in the corner of your world and think that fame is just going to arrive. You actually have to be an active participant. You have to move forward. That also applies for when you are at a show, or when you are in a store. You have to be an active participant, not just on social media. You have to engage people. You have to let people know a little bit about you. That is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given. Share your story, because you are sharing a piece of you. people feel connected to you, and they're going to take that with you and put it in their pocket and say, this is a person that I want to stay connected to. So those are really important things for you to do. You need to be able to, this is called your mouth, and you need to use it as a tool. Now, you might think I'm getting a little sassy, and it is a little sassy, but you need to use this wonderful tool of communication to be able to connect with your customer. Let them know who you are. Let them know how amazing your product is or your service. If you're passionate about it, if you love what you're doing, they are going to love you and your product too, and your services too. They will be drawn to you. So that's part of your marketing. You are part of your marketing.
Yeah. And can you speak to these shows a little bit that you keep referencing? I know our students might have an idea and it could be a product similar. What are these shows and how do you find them and when do you use them?
So they're vendor shows, and they're all
Mhm.
over. Well, they used to be all over Western New York. They'll come back. They're coming back slowly. There's many shows across the area as we speak.
Mhm.
Um, but to find a show to showcase your product. So there can be shows at smaller venues. There can be very large ones. You might see, like for example, if you went to the Erie County Fair and you went into a couple of the buildings, you would notice that they had booths set up where people are selling their product. So it's like that, only they're in different venues across the Western New York area. They have them across the country actually. And I know a lot of my business owners that go on the road and they do shows across several states. They start in Buffalo and then they start moving west and then they come back. If you're willing to travel, if that's what you want, if you want to get your product out there using that literal journey, that road, you can do that too. Um, but using those shows, you're getting your product out there. You have to. So it's not easy. I'm going to tell you that right now because you have to pack up your stuff. You have to prep yourself for a show, how you're going to set up your table. Do you got to bring a table? Do you need chairs? Do you have a money box? Do you have your stuff labeled correctly? Is there prices on it? Do you have change in your money box? So when somebody gives you $10 for a $5 purchase, do you have the change to give them back, or you're going to have to go run and get change? These are all things that are leading up to that show. And then when you're there, then you're going to be using your selling skills, your personality, your marketing skills to sell your product. Sometimes, very rarely, there are free events. And then a lot of most other events, there is a cost. So for example, I mean, it can go anywhere from like $20, $25 to hundreds of dollars. It depends on the venue. It depends on who is creating the event. It depends on how long the event is. And there's also other factors to consider. Is it outside? Is it inside? With every event, it's a different avenue. It's a different place for you to be. I look at it as a challenge. I look at it as a welcome challenge and fun. And when everybody's loading up, it's kind of like, hey, so and so, you see so and so again, and you connect with so and so, you become friends, and you help each other set up your tent or your tables and all that. But this is where you start to really learn those skills. That's where I learned a lot of my skills when it comes to having a business and learning more about even simple things like bookkeeping and making sure that my marketing is up to par. And I'm always watching. I'm always looking around. Oh, how's Shirley doing over there? Oh, I see she's doing a banner business over there. Maybe that's because she, upped her ante because she either changed her price point or changed the way her table looks and it's always an observation. So and so may be doing great. So and so may not be doing great. I wonder why. And every once in a while, I'll go over and I'll give my 2 cents. Sometimes it's not. I have to say about 99% of the time, it's well received. Other times, like that 1%, maybe somebody be like, and you know what? I'm not giving somebody a piece of advice because I'm being snarky about it or I'm on a high horse. It's because am offering a piece of advice, or I'm asking a question that I'm trying to do a very subtle way of offering a piece of advice, because I want my fellow vendors to succeed as much as they should want me to succeed, because we work together as a team. If we don't let anybody know that there's an event going on, nobody's going to come. And if nobody comes, we don't sell anything. If you sell to each other, it's kind of like, you want customers, you want people to come in, you want visibility. And that's, it's extremely important to create. Remember I said you got to say hello to your neighbors? It starts with that, and then it keeps building up. Those shows, I still do them. I'm few and far between those shows now, and it's not just because of COVID. I'm a little older and I'm a little tired, because you know what, packing up, setting up, packing back up. Ugh, when I come home, I'm like, whoo, I'm exhausted. That's cray cray. So a lot of my focus now has been on digital, and reaching out to bigger stores to try to market and get my product in those stores.
Okay. Two more things if you have the time.
Sure.
Do you have any maybe like financial advice when it comes to starting your own business for our students? Our students may not have had, they're younger right now, so they haven't had a career that might be able to help finance or support their adventure, their entrepreneurial adventure. What do they do? Where do they maybe reach out and find some finance or some way to get their business going?
Excellent, excellent question, Julie. You know what? I recently discovered. I wish I knew about Weedy before I, when I started my business, because if I could have tapped into them years ago, I would have. And I actually met a group of guys from Weedy at a 43 North event that I went to, and it was like a mixer of some sort, and it was very funny because I'm walking around. I love it because I walked into this mixer, and I'm like, I don't know anybody here. This is awesome, because now I'm going to meet new people, right? Some people are like, oh, I don't know anybody here, I'm going home. Oh, I look at it in a completely different light, and you should too. So I walk in, I'm walking around, and I'm like, oh, I guess there's got to be somebody here that I can, start the ball rolling. And I see these guys at a table, and they've got their little name tags on, Weedy. And I said, oh, Weedy. I said, I said, I have my own business, but I work at Channel 7 too. We've done tons of stories with you guys. You guys are great. You really help out. You really, really help out the community a lot. And the one guy goes, oh my God, it's you. And I said, it's it, yes, it's me. And he goes, you're on my wall in my office. I'm like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I, right? And he goes, no, no, no. He goes, in a good way. He goes, you did a speaker series for NABO. That's the National Association of Women Business Owners, which I'm the current president, local chapter president of. And he said, your picture is on my wall on the poster when you did the speaker series for the West Side Bazaar. And I said, oh, super cool. I think I was wearing this shirt, honestly, in that picture too. And we got to talking, and he explained all the different services that Weedy does that I had no idea that they did, because we've done stories about one particular person and how it's impacted them. But to hear all the different things that they offer, including commercial kitchen help, finding a commercial kitchen, and all the financial help and the business planning help, I would say, and they're free, my friends, free, free, free. So go to them, call them up, tell them you are a student, say that you'd like to start a business. You want to have that conversation. What should I do first? Because there are so many things to do when you first start that business. Get yourself, it can start with simply with buying yourself a couple of just regular notebooks, which is a business expense, by the way, which you have to make sure that you keep track of. So those two 99-cent notebooks that you get, one, your business plan, you can write right on the top of it, business plan. On the other one, financial on the other one. So you start off creating, you can just write notes in there and start creating what you think would be your business plan for your business. And in the finance page, in the finance book, you're going to start writing down all your expenses. How much have you spent and how much are you bringing in? And you got to start from the very beginning. It starts with putting that 99. 99 cents times two for two notebooks. And then it keeps growing. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see something awesome happening. You're not going to be spending as much as you're bringing in. And when you see that, that's when your heart's going to skip a beat. And you're going to say, you know what? I'm on my way. I'm on my way to success with my business.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that resource.
Sure.
And then for your business, you've been in your business for at least 10 years now. What's your goal for your business? Do you have employees working for you, or what is your goal with, it seems like it's always expanding as well. With new ideas that you come up with, you see trends going on, people are asking, can you supply us with this, or
Yes.
where does Blessings by Nature go from here?
Blessings by Nature has some lofty goals, and I can't reveal them all to you because we've got some really cool things in the works for the next 6 months.
Okay.
And in the fall, something's hopefully spectacular is going to happen. But I can tell you this. I can tell you that I'm a solo entrepreneur, and I thought I could do it all myself. And you know what? You really can't. You need help. And thank goodness my son, who is in college now, is a business major, and he is local, so he's kind of my employee. I have him assist with me at shows. I have him assist with me in making deliveries. He comes with me to speaking engagements. I engage him because I want him to see the progression of the business. Because in my heart, I will leave this to him as a legacy. So, and I want to see it expand just outside of the Western New York area. I want I will be creating a national connection with the syrups that I do and with the classes that I do. So it'll be great. And that's just, I can't expound on that, Julie, because it's on the QT down low. And, but just keep your eyes peeled and I'll be I'll be somewhere. I can't even tell you. I had to keep it.
Okay, well, we can't wait. We can't wait. Any last pieces of it? How about a wish you would have known for our high school?
Wish I would have known the fact that I needed to probably be in better physical condition because of all the things that I tool around all the time. Oh, great! You hear my phone in the background. Um, I think I wish I would have known that I needed to. I do it now, but I didn't know in the beginning that I needed to make sure that I scheduled time not only for my finances and for my business plan and for the things that I have to do. In addition to that, I wish I would have made sure that I scheduled time for myself because that's really important. That's self-care and making sure that you get enough sleep and you have enough energy to do what you need to do.
Great, thank you. Paula, I can't thank you enough for giving us your time today and all of this knowledge. And our students, I mean, I don't even know if I need to be here today. You have such great advice for our students that hopefully they can use in some capacity to hopefully start their own business, or you gave us a lot of life advice. So
Great.
thank you for your time.
Oh, absolutely. And if anybody ever wants to reach out to me and say
Yeah.
you saw this class, I'm again, you already know I'm all over social media, all over the place. I am not on Snapchat though, so sorry about that.
Well,
I
we'll give.
just don't get it.
Yeah.
But I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's Blessings by Nature, so you can look me up online, blessingsbynature.com. I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just reach out and I'd be happy to connect with any of you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.